Welcome everyone to the Lakeville Open Space Committee meeting of Thursday, May 1st, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the Lakeville Senior Center. And all members are here for the committee except for Liz Nash is not present at this time. I am David Zalonis, Chair, running the meeting. LakeCAM is recording the meeting. Is anybody else recording?
No.
No one else is recording. All right, this meeting is called to order. First item is the review and approval of the April 3rd meeting minutes, and they came out kind of late just this afternoon, so I don't think everybody's had a chance to look at them. So it's reasonable to say that we'll table that and review them for approval at next month's meeting. Is that agreeable? I don't think
Yes.
a lot of people have seen them. Okay, so that will be tabled till next meeting. But they are in, and a couple of us have reviewed them. They look good, so they should be good, but everybody needs to take a look at them. Committee and commission updates. The Assawamsett Pond Complex. No update for this meeting, just a reminder, their next quarterly meeting is June 11th, 9 a.m. at the police station. And I'll have an update, now that might be after the next meeting, but in a couple of meetings I'll have an actual update. But, and also a reminder, they should be posting something in the community newsletter about help for the reopening of Betty's Neck for the visitor center. They're looking for some volunteer help over there. But I don't think that's been posted yet. That's it for the APC. And anything for Conservation Commission?
Yeah, the Conservation Commission is still concerned about the 600 acres that were taken out of Chapter 61 and what will happen to it. And the other topic that Nancy mentioned was Rocky Woods is in limbo still.
Okay, so the first one, the 600 acres, is that the 30 Howland?
That's, yeah, at Howland.
Okay, well, I mean, that came out and was sold last August. It's been out over a year now.
Is that the pig farm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's concerned about what's going to happen to it.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
Because that's surrounded by, protected area.
It is.
And it's
Yeah.
over 600 acres. It's the old pig farm. It came out of Chapter 61 a year ago last July and was bought by a developer. And like a week after its year waiting period went out. And we went through discussions with the planning board and everything, and there's really nothing we can do right now. So it's going to take its course. It probably will be expected as some logging and excavation, gravel and whatever, and then development. Yeah. But right now they did say they were going to wait a while. But and then the Rocky Woods, they were in limbo.
That's what she, yeah.
Okay, yeah, they declined the OSRD submission, and we couldn't get anywhere near an agreement on that. And it's supposed to come before the Zoning Board of Appeals this month, as far as moving their 40B plan forward, but if it's in limbo, maybe they've decided to hold off on that as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens at the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting this month. Okay, well, thank you for that update. Okay, on the CPC, Liz is not here. Last meeting we did talk about they had given us their current version. Did we want any changes? There were no changes recommended by the committee. I did email that back to the CPC, and I believe they have a revised plan now. They haven't released it yet, based on their own inputs and maybe inputs from other committees. They sent me a link to look at it, another chance to look at it, but I know unless they change something on open space, we should be good. But I tried the link and I wasn't successful in getting it, but if I do get it working, I can forward that email so everybody can see this revised draft that they have. But I don't think it's going to require anything from us. Let's see. Historical Commission.
Okay. We have, on May 21st, we have a historical commission meeting, and it's gonna, one of the topics will be about a statue of John Sassaman that has been proposed to put in the town. So we've invited people from both sides of the Wampanoag tribe to come and say what they wanna, we've invited their input. And so we'll be dealing with both tribes face to face, and that's good. The 18th of May I believe is gonna be Lakeville Day, and we'll be participating in that as the Historical Commission. And the 28th is the Historical Society. And Joan, what's the program?
Deborah Sampson.
Deborah Sampson. Okay. And explain who she was?
She was a woman who dressed as a man to fight in the Revolutionary War. She was very successful until she was wounded, and then she was found out, but she actually got a pension. Because she was a really good friend of Paul Revere, and he helped her get the pension. Which is pretty interesting. She was from
Amazing.
Halifax.
So that's what we have coming up.
So that's quite a bit. Thank you. Let's see, that's it for the updates. The next item is the 2025 open space plan status.
The plan is done, thanks be to God. It's in the hands of Tracy. She's gonna send it to the boards that need to review it, and we have to get some feedback from them. We're also gonna send a copy of it to DCR, because they're the ones that have to approve it, and we can send it to them to review before we get our public comments, which are from the boards. And then we get the comments from them, we put them into the plan if there's anything that needs to be changed. DCR gets the final copy, and then they approve it, hopefully.
Okay, so,
So it's on its way,
yep,
everywhere.
that's good. So we're getting close, but it's still probably gonna be
Finally.
a couple months.
Probably, but it's on its way.
No, that's it. Excellent news. All right. Next item, agenda item 5, the Open Space Committee Town webpage. Just keeping up on updates, and I know Bob is still on as vice chair, so I think, Debbie, were you gonna follow up on updates on the webpage?
If there's anything you want me to change, Joan and I changed something.
We changed everything,
Yeah.
we did. And we need to list Liz as the vice chair now?
Right, yep.
Can you change that? Can you put Liz as the vice chair?
I will do that.
Thank you.
And I did notice that the latest meeting minutes are in there, so that was good. The agendas go back to September as the newest, so I don't,
Sorry.
on the, keeping the newest agenda and meeting minutes on the webpage. The minutes have been updated, so the latest are there, the March minutes are there.
Yeah,
The agendas, the latest one there is still last September. So, and I would assume those have to be the ones that are stamped and posted and everything. So they must be archived at the town hall.
yeah, they are. I don't-
Right, so those are the only two things I saw, was getting the vice chair changed and getting the
Okay,
agendas updated to the latest.
I'll get those next time at the town hall.
All right, thank you, Debbie. All right, item 6 is the open space informational pamphlet status, and Lynn is,
It's beautiful.
Yes, so there's some more changes that need to be made. The Parks Department, that's the department, right? They recommended either a phone number for people to call or an email. Now, I talked with Tracy, and she said that we cannot be added to the, the number list of an option for open space. But she said we could probably reach out to the IT director to have an email created, but we would need somebody who's going to manage that email.
yeah. Well, I think it's probably good, the chair can probably do it, check it twice a month, it's not a big deal.
Okay, so you want me to have open space,
Yeah, so,
whatever they recommend?
yeah, because right now you go to a webpage and you have a phone number that you call, you're not gonna get anybody.
Right,
And there's no email, you have a mailing address and that's it.
Yeah,
So if we got these pamphlets going out, say, contact us, all we got is mail, so I think an email is definitely the way to go. I don't think, and the voicemail was really not that great anyways, and yet, and there's an extra charge to have that, and who knows how much we're gonna get, but whereas emails are generally free as far as.
well, are they? Okay, I think there's a cost for the domain, but, I don't know who the IT director is.
Yeah, I'll have to get that from Tracy. Or
Okay, I mean, I can email her and ask her.
Yeah, if you can follow
Okay.
Tracy, find out who the
Okay.
IT director, and,
Oh, you can, okay.
and just say, you know, we'd like to get that email address, and then we'll need to put that on our webpage once we get it, and let Tracy know that, you know, the chair of the committee will monitor the email, and whoever the next chair is, will just pass that responsibility on, so.
Okay, all right. So, and then the second page, I'm not sure, I thought somebody recommended to change Ted Williams to Park, but it should be camp. So
Should be
I'm not-
camp.
So I'm gonna be changing that back. The Parks, I think it's the department, right? Parks Department, or is it Parks Committee? They recommended to add pickleball, so we did, I did that. And then softball, John Pond Park, it was changed from baseball to softball. The CPC, or was it the Conservation Committee, had recommended to add something about, you know, the 61, Chapter 61, et cetera, how they could preserve land. And thank you to David for providing that language. So that's been added up down there. And so,
Yeah, so maybe everybody wants to read that and see if there's any issues with that wording. So we had, you know, what Lynn already had there was from our webpage, the Open Space Committee encourages anyone with an interest in conserving their land for perpetuity to contact the committee or the town administrator. And then what was added is what she's got circled there, and that was based on adding a letter bringing over the tax incentive, so that when they get this pamphlet, they see that, and they'll want to contact us because, you know, there's potential property tax savings there. So is that wording of that sentence, okay?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay, all right. And so now it's just down to getting the email address.
okay, and then, so I did contact the recommended printer, but I haven't heard anything back. So I haven't contacted the person I contacted before because I don't want him to go through all that work and then we're gonna
Yep.
say no to him. So I'll reach out to him again to get a price, try to get this fixed, and then these recommendations. If I'm able to get it done by the 18th, I don't know. Can we have it at, what is it, Lakeville Day?
Yeah, Lakeville Day, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how quickly that works, you know, it's gonna be expensed through the town administrator.
Would they reimburse me if I paid for it? Next year. Maybe that's why the printer's not calling me back, I don't
There
know.
is some risk involved there, so.
I'd email Tracy.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
I think what.
because I don't.
Yeah, I would email her.
Yeah. okay.
Yeah, before you place any orders.
Yeah, I would.
And what Andrew said, he was thinking about $250 or so, but it looks
Yeah.
like it's gonna be a little more. And he said go for 500 copies.
Yeah.
You know, based on the first estimate you had, he was saying about 250, 275, something like that. But it, you know, just in case it's more, but if it's in that range, he verbally had okayed that, but I would talk with Tracy.
Okay.
Tracy, whatever. And if you don't hear from, you know, this other printer, then, you know, so hopefully we get 2 bids, so we know, take
Well,
the
we
best
already
bid.
looked at,
mean, it's
we
hard
already
for-
looked at Staples, and Staples was way too.
Yeah, yeah. no,
I mean, it's
yeah.
hard for a committee that doesn't have a budget to do something like this.
Yeah.
Right,
But
Even a small budget,
Well, I did ask Andrew about that, and he said not at this time.
not yet.
yeah.
No budgets, all these, you know, at least small things we can go to
Yeah.
the town administrator for expensing. Bigger things have to go to a town warrant for, or CPC funds.
Right.
Didn't the select board add a member at large for communications within the town, the residences? I think that's still open, but, I mean, how would they communicate if they don't have a budget? Maybe that's where we can, I don't know.
Yeah.
I believe they did. I believe they created a member at large for that. So, all right, I'll
Yeah,
I'll do it. I can.
If we can get this wrapped up this month would be great. And,
Okay. Okay.
all right, so, turns out you're going to try to push this through with the final email, get that added on, these changes, and that's it.
Yeah.
And get okay through Tracy to go ahead and place an order.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and if we do get them in time for the, was it?
May day, it's
18th.
May 18th, so
May
it's kind of
18th,
close.
Yeah, it is kind of close.
17 days away.
And so just, somebody just needs to be there. And I know historical commission, that you have a table set up and everything there.
We do, yeah.
Lions will be there too, so I'll be there, so.
So
I'll be there probably too, so.
you have to kind
You
of
can
bring.
pass things around, yeah.
Bring a table and chair with you if you
Mm.
want to do this, or do you have to get approval from somebody to have a table?
Lions Club will just do it as part of their table. We'll
Well,
just put it on the corner of the table and I'll talk to people.
Just sit next to
Okay.
us, right?
You can put it in
Open
the
space.
I have,
To
Yeah,
sit
that
next
would
to us
seem
at
to be-
at Lakeville Day.
That makes
And if
sense.
anybody's moving around, there'll be somebody there who knows open space.
oh, yeah. I'd say, what, a Saturday, or was it?
it's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday, yeah.
On the 18th, yeah. I'll try and be there. I haven't have to look at my calendar, but I think I could do that.
I guess that's only if it gets done in time. I'm not
Yeah,
trying to be.
yeah, it's pretty tight.
down there.
But anyways,
Trying to be
we will
negative.
keep
By the way,
that.
it's
I'm
Sunday.
taking it here.
Oh, it's a Sunday?
It is a Sunday,
Oh, it's a
And
Sunday?
what-
It's a Sunday.
Do you know what the hours are?
11 to 3.
Sunday, 11 to 3. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, Lynn, keep us posted on
Okay.
if it makes it through, but yeah, that is gonna be tight. And if not, and so we could hand those out at the town meeting as well in June.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that'll be the next event, so. There are other events. Okay, so I think we're all set on the pamphlet. Agenda item 7, that Montgomery Street property, I drove by it on the way here again, it's, the sign's still up. I did not call the realtor because I looked at it and basically it is surrounded by residential properties. It's not in the PPA. Town doesn't have any money, a conservation trust is not gonna be interested in it. So I think lesson I learned going forward is if you become aware of a property, investigate it first, and then bring it to the committee if it looks like if it is open space that's for sale and it's in a priority protection area.
It is.
Well, that one isn't. But if you become aware of one, whether you see it's something online or you hear about it, and, bring it to the committee and we'll, investigate it and can escalate it to the, town administrator, planning board and everything. But this property is an island and, it's just not gonna be, anyway, so I'm gonna, that'll be the end of that one. Agenda item 8, on the Cranberry Bog Conservation Restriction dirt bike response. Based on our discussion, I did send a letter to the residents that were having the issue, and I think I copied everybody on the letter.
Yeah.
But, so basically, it was, it's an enforcement issue, and it turns out, I did talk to Nancy Yates at the Hasselhoff Farm Complex, he's the manager, and that's adjacent property to this bog property. And this bog property is actually on a conservation restriction, which does prohibit dirt bikes, motorized vehicles. But she said as far as posting, they had dirt bikes at the Betty's Neck area, which is adjacent to this. They posted for it, and they just took all the postings down. And they were down pretty quick. So she said the only thing that really works is enforcement. And of course, the APC can't enforce, and we can't enforce. So it's like we had talked about in the last meeting, the Massachusetts Environmental Police and the Lakeville Police have to do the enforcement. So as we talked about in the letter, that every time they have an incident of the dirt bikes being on a prohibited area and making too much noise, they should call either or both the Lakeville Police or the Massachusetts Environmental Police. I gave them all the contact information, gave them a copy of the conservation restriction. So it's really down to enforcement, and what Nancy said is enforcement is difficult. You got to catch them in the act, and you got to and there's a lot of follow up with it. But that's really all we can do is we give them the information so they can seek the enforcement that they're entitled to.
I can't believe they actually said that they put signs up and then somebody's stealing the
I
signs.
know,
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
that's
It's like unbelievable.
Yeah. What about a Game Pro?
Can you send me a copy of this? I'm curious about this.
Oh, well, I sent the only one I had, it was a lot of pages.
Oh, okay.
Nancy gave it to me, but it's on file. All
Okay.
these CRs are on file in the town hall, so you go to the
Is
assessor's
this an
office.
is this an APR or a CR? That's a big question.
Yeah.
I'll ask, I'll just call Nancy and ask her.
Yeah, you could ask, or you can go to the assessor's office,
can,
and it's public information, and just Norma, Linda, I'm sure could, they work on the paper system there. All these CRs are just
Okay.
in paper,
Okay.
and you can
Okay.
request a copy.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't, it was too much paper. I was gonna make a copy and save one, so I'd have it here, but there's too much paper going on.
Okay, thank you.
But anyways, it is covered by some type of CR.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so, anything else on that? All right,
It was a well-written letter.
no, thank you. And, hopefully they have some success with the enforcement. Let's see, item number 9, creation and maintenance of property lists to monitor conservation status and opportunities. We'd already had a lot of work done on that, but since our last meeting on just the properties list, and I think I had emailed, I'd gotten, it wasn't electronic versions, but Norm over at the assessor's office got me he got me vacant land, no, town-owned land. We already had it 5 acres and up. Now, this list, and I did email it to everybody, has all town-owned land down to like 0.13 acres.
I saw that.
And there were 2 lists because some of them are listed under vacant land, Lakeville town of, and the other one was vacant land, town of Lakeville. So there's a total of 90 parcels that the town of Lakeville owns, of open land. So, they may not be under restrictions or anything, but to do anything with them has to go before the town hall meeting, so they're controlled at this point. Then the other list, and I was thinking that would be a good list to have electronically, so once the new assessor gets in, they may request if we can get an Excel format of that. Because we have Excel on 5 acres up, but we only have a PDF on the total list. And the other list, I didn't specifically ask for this one, I don't know if anybody else did, but Norm gave me a list of vacant land in Lakeville.
Oh, that's the one that you sent, that the one you sent to us? That's an interesting list.
I sent 2, I sent you the town-owned
Yeah.
file, and then also this one, and I didn't specifically ask for this, but yeah, I don't know what the total is on it, but yeah, those are, whether they're vacant, I guess whether they're, I don't know if these are all private, but I'm not sure what to do with this, but it is interesting.
I wasn't sure what to do with it either.
Especially where it's a PDF only. I mean, you can look at it and see if anything looks interesting. A lot of these are very small parcels, and, but if you look at the larger parcels, maybe then look at an assessor's map and see.
I know, it's because my land's on that list.
Yeah,
So,
this-
I think it's fine, so it's just any vacant land.
Yeah, so, yeah, and yours is on a CR.
CR.
Yeah, so this has CR 61, but it's just open land.
It was a very interesting list, I was
Yeah.
looking at, yeah.
All right, so everybody's got that, and is this worth getting in Excel format? I don't think I think you can just look at it and, use the assessor's map to analyze a specific property. This one, the town of Lakeville, we need to maintain this, so I think we need this in Excel.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'll follow up with the assessors up on that, but the new assessor's supposed to start in the middle of May. And I know I have to get adjusted there, so it may take a couple months, but we've got, that's progress on just the property list. And from the Chapter 61 list, we had those discrepancies that we talked about at the last meeting, and everything was resolved except the one property, which is the Robert J. Dupree. It's about well, it says 15.6 acres. Norm had still been researching that last time. So he says that actually, at a Chapter 61 that expired on 12/31/21.
21.
Yeah.
Wow, that's oldie.
So a little over 3 years ago, and that happened. It looks like it looks like an in-family sale. It was a $1 sale of the property. It's listed as vacant land. It was in a Chapter 61 10-year, but and it still says that on his card. So I'm gonna follow up with Norm again on that one, the new assessor, and I guess a lot of the cards are not really kept up to date. If that was expired 3 years ago and it's still showing in the assessor's card that it's under chapter 61. And it may just be clerical and needs to be brought up to date. But at any rate, it's, nothing has happened to it in the 3 years it's been off of 61, but I'll make a note to follow up on that one. And the rest of them were resolved. There were mostly omissions, except for those two where the Wampanoag tribe has not applied for the
Not
chapter
yet,
61 yet. Because I guess the land was donated to them from the previous owner, donated to the Wampanoag tribe. 2 parcels on, it was at Pierce Ave.
I mean, here's a question, since
Yeah.
it's owned by a Native American tribe, do they have to apply for 61? Are they tax exempt anyway, because they're a recognized tribe? That would be something that would be worth finding out. They might not have to do chapter land, because they're sacred lands, but that would be something that'd be worth finding
Makes
out.
sense, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't, normally they haven't applied yet, but yeah, maybe they don't have to. Okay, I'll check on that.
Because they are recognized.
So they would get the tax incentives anyways without even doing chapter 61?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I will ask that question. And, so I got that, and I got to check on the pre expiration. So, well, it says it has expired. That's just privately owned land, so that might be worth looking into. You know, I think that property is on County Street, right on the Berkeley line.
Which property is that?
It's Dupree, 15.6 acres.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, if you find out anything about that, and when I go to the assessors, I'll ask about that one as well. But where they took it out of chapter 61, maybe they just, you know, it was a family exchange, and I don't think they're in town, but they may not have known to do that, or maybe they're looking to sell. But, and I don't know what the land in Berkeley right over the town line is, you know, it doesn't.
Is that the back of the Star Market, Star Driving?
No, because it's, let's see, it's, it's on the other side of county from where the Star Drive-In is.
Other side of the lights.
Yeah, so it's on the other side and it borders up against Berkeley, and it's kind of a odd shaped parcel of land. But I'll check with the assessors, and if anybody else finds anything else, so we see if maybe that's something that would have any interest. Because it looks like it may be for sale soon if they're not going back into chapter 61. All right. Other than that, I think for the list, that's where the lists stand. And then the next item agenda will go into the outreach program, which has the mailing list. But any questions or further discussion on the property list at this point? Okay. So I'll keep these together, otherwise I'll never get them back. All right, so the next agenda item is the Land Conservation Outreach Program, status and discussion. Now, it had stalled out a little bit, but I just had a good call with Mass Woods, and things are starting to move now. So, see, I did take some notes from the discussion. Yeah, it was Paul Catanzaro from Mass Woods. We talked about a half hour or so on the phone. I had already sent them an email explaining what we were trying to do, you know, based on the program that they had been running with the DCR earlier, which was not continued for this year. They hope to continue it in the future, but they're not right now. And even, it's you know, it's a reimbursement program, and if we do have funds available, then it would be much simpler to do it through the town anyways. So, thing to do is finished getting our plan together. I have, Paul gave me a lot of inputs, and let's see what we got here. First of all, the pamphlets, he says he can supply all that we need, and I asked him which ones we would need for this type of outreach program, and I told him we were working on our mailing list. And he said that everybody in Chapter 61 or eligible to Chapter 61 would be a good candidate for being mailed to. So if they're already in it, because they might be interested in more permanent conservation, and if they're eligible but not in Chapter 61, they might be interested in either. So, and he said with the pamphlets, he's got one just for Chapter 61 and one called Protecting Your Legacy. And he said we could send both pamphlets to everybody, or if somebody's already in Chapter 61, maybe send them just the Protecting Your Legacy pamphlet. But he said it's fine, he'd supply enough pamphlets so we could send them to everybody. But then you get into the mailing cost, which I guess he thought it was only going to be $1.50 to $2 per mailing, but I took just a Chapter 61 pamphlet and put it in a 9 by 12 envelope with 2 sheets of paper to represent a cover letter. That's just one pamphlet in there. And they told me today at the post office, $2.59 each.
Oh,
But I don't know, do we get any discount with a town, if it's a town mailing?
that's a good question. I'm not
So
sure
I gotta
that.
find out, because this was just as a citizen coming in.
Is that first class?
Yeah.
So there might be a bulk mailing rate too.
Yeah, so bulk or town, it could be a discount rate, because this is, it's the Lakeville Post Office, the Lakeville addresses, so that was in this, you put it in the system, it came out with this weight, this size. He says it has to go through a roller to be able to bend over too.
Yeah, boy.
And with one, and now if there's 2 pamphlets in here, I don't know if it's gonna be able to do that. I think one might just make it, because that's the process like that.
Is there one in there?
Yeah.
What does it look like? Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
Oh, they're
It's
nice.
like a little booklet.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I don't know if the Protecting Your Legacy one is bigger, it might be the same overall size, so if you need this big of an envelope to get something like that in, a standard 9 by 12 to,
Here's a question, could we make labels and stick it on? And,
Well, we gotta send a cover letter with it,
oh, we do.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Because we gotta explain
Yeah.
everything, what we're doing, what they might be interested in, and if we're gonna do an event, request a response if they'd like to attend. So I gotta do some more research into this, but it's gonna
That's
be a
beautiful, though.
big budget item. These are free, and he'll ship us cases of these, and he'll ship them to the town hall, the Attention Open Space Committee, so we'll have them right there. Once we get them a count on how many we need, he says he has them available, both of those brochures. I'm gonna see if I got this at the assessor's office. I wonder if they have the other one available too.
They might.
So that way I can see if the other ones, I'm guessing it's the same size.
guessing it
But it
probably
might be
is.
thicker.
It might be.
I mean, going back to John's idea, we could put the cover letter inside the front page and like seal it.
And then put a little,
Tape.
one of those round things and
Yeah.
close it.
Good.
I mean, if it's cheap, I don't know if it's
Yeah.
gonna be less money.
You know,
you
you
know,
could put
or
it,
not,
then
but I
you
mean,
put,
maybe
like,
it's-
put it right here.
Yeah, and then tape it closed.
And I don't know.
One of those little tape things that go on all 3 sides.
Yeah, okay.
Or you do it on the side, yeah.
That's possible.
That would take some-
I'm gonna do some more research on bulk rates and town rate.
It is summer. An intern.
Rates, town rate, and then see if I can get the Protecting Your Legacy pamphlet. And he did say anything that's in any property in a CR, just forget about it, that's all set. It's strictly eligible for 61, whether they're in or out of 61. And a lot of the other ones had done greater than 10 acres. And again, it was mentioned, also look at priority protection areas, even if they're under 10. So if we need to limit the count, because I think if we go with greater than 10 acres, we're probably gonna be about 175 mailings. And if we go with greater than 5 acres, it's gonna be over 300, for sure. But we need to fine tune the mailing list a little bit and take out what doesn't belong there. I did a mailing list, I took a first pass at that and I sent it to everybody. I took out everything with a CR and town-owned, state-owned, municipality-owned. Those are the obvious ones to take out. And when we get through the rest of this stuff, we'll just take a look at that list and take all your inputs on what else can come out.
I
What I
mean,
did is-
when I was doing it before, these people
Yeah.
all have multiple listings.
Yeah.
And so I can do that because I actually wrote down the names and I was doing it before.
Okay.
So I can scratch them, I can combine them.
Well, I've got the one working file, just so it doesn't get all mixed up and
Exactly.
everything, so, but if you give me that information.
Okay, I will.
I'll take
All right,
that, and
send-
I'll do the master
yeah.
one and then send it out to
Exactly,
everybody.
and send it out.
So we don't have changes going on
Yeah,
all the
I
different
mean, that was an
copies.
easy way to do it, because I was trying to
Yeah, and
limit the
and
list.
I know you know a lot of what's going on in town too, as far as, who owns what and what's happening. So, yeah, if you can get me that input.
Will do.
So what I did is, that everybody saw the sheet I added, is just mailing lists labeled, and I've taken out the CRs, and then Joe's gonna get me the duplicates. We'll run down the rest of the list. I got some other questions on what we can take out, but let me see what else Paul might have given us. If I can read my writing. Yeah, he said, yeah, we would definitely need to draft a letter from the Open Space Committee to the landowners, based on the criteria that we select for them, just explain options to conserve, and to achieve their goals for the property and all that. So I'll work through all this, and at some point, near future, I'll draft up a letter for everybody to review, and then we can adjust it and make all kinds of changes. And he did say that once we have our mailing list and it goes out with that cover letter, if we're gonna do an event, we should have an RSVP, even though it's really just, if somebody's gonna go, hopefully they'll tell you. He said historically, usually, no matter how big the mailing is, at most you're gonna get 20 or 30 people.
Yeah, probably.
He says, so it sounds like what we're talking about, the library as a venue for this might be perfect, because you can have refreshments there, it can hold 30 people or so, and then it has restrooms and electrical and AV equipment availability, I believe. So, that,
Just to go back to the, to the mailing, I was thinking, what would be the perception if it's just the pamphlet? Would it be like, oh, junk mail? I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just thinking about it, I mean, it's just a perception, so maybe the envelope.
yeah. Well, I think if we can, find out about, bulk rates and town rate for mailing in town, because, they have to send all the tax bills to everybody, of course, they get a
Right.
bulk rate on that. And if we're, I don't know how much you need for a bulk rate, is it 200, or more? But I'll check into that, if we can get a reduced rate, because the mailing is, if you look at that as if it's just one brochure in there, and if you do 200, $500-600 just for that, and if you put 2 brochures in there, and if you have to stay flat and can't go through a roller, I didn't get that price, but that's a lot more.
Money.
Yeah.
It is more money.
Yeah. So I got more research to do on the mailing cost, but we got free pamphlets. Maybe we stand on the street corner and hand them out. Right now, I talked with Andrew, the town administrator, was like a $2,000 budget to work with him. But that was hopefully mailing costs and light refreshments for the get-together. And on the event, Paul at Masswoods gave me 2 contacts, and one was with Wildlands Trust, and I don't know, have you worked with Wildlands in the past? Anybody?
Well, the Wildlands Trust is
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, have you worked with them?
Yes, a lot.
Okay, so, yeah, because they said they had worked with Lakeville in the past, and so Masswoods set me up with them and with the state service forester, Jim Rassman. And so I have their contact information. They've already come back to me and told me just give them a call to discuss, what we're planning on doing. And of course, the state forester is more forest land conservation. Wildlands Trust would be, it's all open space, but doesn't have to be forest. probably mostly is farmers.
Mostly, yeah.
Anyways, so I have to, I just got this information in the last couple days, so I have to follow up with them in the next few days. I will call both of them and tell them what we're planning to do and get their inputs, what they recommend, as far, because what Paul from Westwood said, both of these guys could potentially come and be speakers at the event we have.
Yes.
And we send out the mailing, we can get, so maybe we only get a handful of people, maybe we get to 30 or 40. And he said, as far as refreshments go, he says, it's hard to gauge. I said, what about posting it in town, just open to anybody that wants to come too? And he said, yeah, that is a good thing to do. I said, but then we're not gonna know how many people are coming. Yeah, we can ask on the posting to let us know, but we could get a lot more. But he says, as far as refreshments goes, he finds if there's more refreshments than there are people will eat more. And if there's less refreshments than available for all people, then it works. It's just they eat less.
You can put it in the town newsletter.
Yeah,
That's online all the time.
yeah, we can do that. And
We have it at the library on their little board that they put out all the time too.
Yeah.
The Mascot Week.
Yeah, so with the basket, is that free to get a posting in there?
Yes.
Yeah. I know Lions do that, right? And it doesn't cost anything, you just give them.
I don't know, I'd have to talk to Chris, he's the one who gets involved with the basket.
Because that, a lot of people,
I mean,
it's
Historical
right here.
Commission or Society puts in something every month, we don't pay for it.
Okay, so it should be no charge for that. I'm trying to figure all the budget costs of this, so, but yeah, so we have post flyers around, if we can use the Mascot News, the community newsletter on the webpage, just invite everybody that way, that's
Town
all
calendar.
free, yeah, and that's all free.
Yeah.
The mailing is a big expense. It could end up being $1,000, depending how far we want to go with the mailings. And mailing, by next meeting, I'll have the mailing costs all lined up on if we do this, this, or that, and this is what it is, and we'll have to make a decision on where we draw the line. Maybe it is 10 acres and up, plus anything 5 acres and up that's in a PPA. I'm thinking, because if we go for everybody that's eligible 5 acres and up, it's gonna be like 350 or so. We're gonna pare it down, but right now it's at 400.
Yeah, that's a
With
lot.
the list that I have now, it's 400, but I know there's more that can come out. There's
Right.
all those duplicates. But anyways, we'll get into the list once,
I'll do some work on that too.
yeah. But these are all the inputs I have now, so I'm gonna follow up. I'll get more on the postage, and I'll talk to the Conservation Trust and the Forest Service and get all their inputs for next month. And,
So we're working off that list that you just sent.
yeah, the sheet labeled mailing list, that's down to 400 from, I think it was 476. So when I took all the CRs and town-owned properties and state, that brought it from 476 down to 400. The duplicates are all still in there.
We're working off this list that you just sent?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's the new one. So,
okay.
anything in general on the outreach program before we go into the mailing list?
Well, I just had a question. I've never
Yep.
seen it. I didn't know. Does the library allow you to have refreshments there? I've never
Yeah,
seen it.
yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't, as a library, I didn't think you could, but I was told you can.
Oh, okay.
But, well, we'll confirm it.
Yeah. No, I was just
Yeah.
curious.
My first thought was they didn't, but I understand they do. It's just in that big conference thing they have.
In the gallery, yeah.
Right, and so if we're ready to take just a quick look at the list here, we're not gonna spend a lot of time, but, so I think there's, the mailing list sheet, if, does everybody have a copy of it to look
Yeah.
at? Okay, and, so it's down to 400. Now, just some quick questions are like 30 Howland Road, of course, is the number one. It's a PPA. We know it's owned by developers. It's 565 acres. They probably should be sent a mailing. Maybe they'll have a change of
Right,
heart and
right.
sell some of it off. So
Right.
they should be kept, right? And Ocean Spray is,
You would take off the list.
you would take
I would
off?
take it off the list.
Okay, they're in a 10-year Chapter 61, which
Right.
expires December of '26, but they're not gonna do anything else besides that.
Right.
So they should go off.
I would take them off.
Okay. This next one, it has an APR, so
That's an APR, so that would come, Schobel would come off, that's an APR.
Okay, so that's the same as a CR?
No,
What's the
APR
difference?
is huge.
Okay,
I
so,
mean, that's, undevelopable, period,
Okay, and that's permanent?
period, yeah,
Okay,
permanent.
so, yeah, okay, so I missed that one, so that one comes off. Any golf course, I think we should take off, right?
I think I would take them off.
Yeah, because we have 4 golf courses, and I think on the list, so Golf Blues and Decoy Brook and another Ellis Golf Course, and I think there might be a couple more hidden in there.
They're on.
So they're coming down, so we're coming, a lot of the big areas that come right off. And you know anything about this ARC? Yeah, there's a bunch
I
of
don't.
letters. South Lake, Texas, 119 acres.
So it's in the industrial park. That's what I think, yeah.
I'll look at it on the map, but I'll leave it on there for now, but I'll investigate
Right.
that one. It does, it's an LLC. Yeah, so maybe there's some development on it. It's not in chapter 61 or CR. So maybe it is industrial or something.
This-
But I'll leave it on for now.
Right.
Then, you know, you get to Wisdom, which is the Rocky Woods.
Right, yeah, and they
over,
have
so-
tons of properties.
Yeah, so should we send him one mailing?
One
Yeah,
mailing.
because, you know, he's got a ton of properties.
He's got a ton of
He's probably
properties.
not gonna do anything with it, but keep him on, but just minimum duplicates. Okay, and then,
He has like almost 9 or 10
yeah,
properties.
and a lot of those are the Rocky Woods.
Yes, absolutely.
The next one, David Sopa, 110 acres. It's in a priority protection.
We've sent him a
area.
letter before, but I don't remember what happened.
Okay, so he should definitely be on the list. The next one is a PPA, and it's in chapter 61A. That sounds like it should be on the list.
That should be on the list.
The next one is a gravel
I
pit.
take the gravel pit
Gravel
out.
pit comes out. It's in a PPA,
Yep, it is.
100 acres,
It is.
but,
I think that's in the priority that we got from the South Coast Rail that we just got. I think that's,
oh, yeah. Yeah, it is listed as a PPA, so, but you say there's, you know, it's an active gravel
yeah.
pit, so just take that one off.
Hang on for a second.
Isn't that where the dirt bikes are, or am I in the wrong area?
No, wrong area. That's over by Betty's Neck near the cranberry bog.
And this is,
This is the gravel pit over on Bedford Street.
It's across, yeah, it's across from where Lakeside Avenue goes off.
yeah, that's it, so that's near the dirt bike trail,
Yeah.
that's where I live.
Oh, is
yeah.
it? Oh, it is nearby. Right.
It's the behind there.
But if it's, because, you know, we can definitely, you know, keep companies on the list. If, you know, they have property, but part of it could be
Yeah.
either put into chapter 60.
It's at a combined priority area by
Okay.
Serped.
Is it a priority development area or a protection?
It's combined.
Oh,
As a priority, it's combined because it could be developed for business or pleasure.
so I guess based on that, and they're not in any conservation, we should keep them on the list.
It's been on the list.
All right, next one is chapter 61 and 61A and a PPA, 76 acres over on
That's a big horse
Montgomery
farm.
Street. Okay,
Yeah.
big horse farm, so they should be on it.
They should be on it.
And the next one is our friend at Rocky Woods. So, then the next one, let's see, 72 acres on Merrick Street, and there's nothing on that,
No.
so we keep them. So I don't understand anybody's names here unless it's well-known, so.
This is out there on 79. Where?
Okay, now Beechwood Farms.
They have at least two on the list.
Okay, and they're in
So
chapter
they'd
61,
stay,
and they're
yeah.
PPA, so they stay on. And same with the next one, chapter 61, it's in a PPA. And then we have another golf course to take
Right.
on. Mascot Cranberry, chapter 61A and PPA, so,
I'd send them one.
okay, we'll keep them on. And they have multiple listings, I think. The next one is chapter 61B and PPA, 57 acres.
I wouldn't send him one because I know him and he wouldn't. He
Well,
just,
yeah,
would-
well,
he just,
well,
he just wouldn't.
You just saved $3.
Yeah, he just
All
wouldn't.
right, okay. The next one is a PPA 56 on Pierce Ave. They look eligible. Next one is 61A and a PPA also on Pierce Ave, 55 acres. So it looks like that should be get one. Now Broad West Fort's an LLC on Ocean Spray
Which is
Drive.
I think I would take them off. They're-
Yeah, that's part of Ocean Spray.
It's part of
isn't
Ocean
it?
Spray.
Yeah, right. And then the next one, 61B, Rear County Street, 51 acres. That should stay on. The next one also is a 61B.
Right,
It's a recreational, 50 acres.
right.
That should stay. This one, okay, I crossed this off because the Wampanoag,
Yeah, I would take that off.
yeah, see, even though they're not,
Yes.
they may, there's some protection, or if they don't have it, they're gonna get.
Right, well, I would take it
So
off.
Wampanoag's properties will be off. Next one is a 61A on Kingman Street, 48 acres. And, so that should stay. It is a Realty LLC.
Mm.
I don't know what's there. Now, this one had an X on it. for
Yeah,
some
I know
reason.
them,
Oh, okay,
just
so
take them off,
I was
yeah.
wondering, I saw a few
Yeah,
there
I
with
know them
X's.
very well, yeah.
All
Just
right,
take
so
that one
comes
off.
off. All right, and then they get a chapter 61A PPA on Montgomery Street for 47.
There used to be a
acres.
riding stable and I think it's a doggy daycare.
Well, it sounds like they're eligible.
So I'd send it to them.
Okay. And then Twin Coach Estates Homeowners Association.
That's the trailer park over on Rhode Island Road. That's the
Okay.
trailer. I'd take that off.
Take that off, okay. Yeah, 'cause it's pretty much populated, right? This one, has a C, that's the Wampanoags again, I'll take that off.
Take them off.
Okay, and then we have chapter 61A on County Street, 43 acres.
They have a couple of properties on this list.
Okay, so let's keep them on. The next one is chapter 61A and its PPA.
That, she has a lot of property too.
So definitely send her
Yeah.
behind. And then the next one is trustee, you don't have anything on it.
You don't know that.
But it's Rear Churchill Shores, 41 acres. Well,
Yeah, I don't
good,
know.
we'll keep it on the list then. If we don't know, we should keep them on. Then the next one is a PPA, Elliott Way, 40 acres.
That property's just been sold. They don't own it anymore.
Oh,
I'll
really?
get you the new name.
Oh, okay, I'll just make a note here that it was sold. Okay. But, yeah, it wasn't in chapter 61 or anything, it was just
Right.
sold, definitely I'll have to get new owners. Next one is 61A on Rhode Island Road,
I don't know
40
them.
acres. That should be good. And 61A PPA, that should stay on the list.
On Norm's family?
It looks that way.
Yeah,
He's gonna get
because
some
he's on
mail.
Crooked Lane.
He's gonna get some mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we go through, if we run out of time, we run out of time, but at least see what we can do here. Next one, we're on to page 2, top of the page, 38 acres on Merrick Street. I have no information. It's an LLC. I won't take them off. I can,
I'd take them off.
well, you know anything about it? I mean, I say I could go on the assessor's map and see what I can find out in their card.
Mm-mm.
What do you think? No, just because I leave them on now, we're gonna do an investigation, I can put a question mark.
Right, put a question
investigate,
mark and we'll find out, yeah.
and, anything I put a question mark on, I'll check the assessor's card. off
Right,
and
put a
see
question
what
mark
kind
on the
of
next one too.
Okay, yeah, Lakeville, that's another LLC.
And your address is International Place, Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
The next one is a PPA parcel, about 36 acres, owners,
Yeah,
Eastern
that piece of
Massachusetts.
property has a lot going on right now, so I'm not sure who even owns it now.
Well, it's an LLC, Holloway Brook Farm, it's an LLC, and we have an address in North Attleboro.
Right.
So, I mean, that's the type of property that may
Mm.
be able to do some conservation, so. Next one is a chapter 61A, PPA.
That-
That
That's
was
just,
Mascot
they
Cranberry.
already have one of them on this first
Yeah,
page, so.
Did we leave them on or take them off?
I think we left them in.
Mascot. Yeah, we left them on, so.
That's
it's
what I
a-
thought,
it's
you
a
leave them
duplicate,
on.
a duplicate, but we already got, so they get one mailing. Next one is chapter 61A, 36 acres. Should be okay. 61A PPA on the next one.
They have a couple of properties, I leave that on.
Okay. And the next one, no information on it, that is rear Moranville Drive, 33 acres.
Yeah, I don't know anything about
Okay,
them.
we'll leave that one on. Next one is Fabrowski Farms LLC.
I'd leave that.
Okay, they're in 61A, so. Okay, next one, Warren Trask
I'd take that off. I think that's a big lumber
place.
company down off
Oh,
of
yeah.
Bedford Street.
Was it-
The railroad tracks go right in there,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'd take that
Warren
off.
Trask, okay. All right, the next one, no information on it, it's 32 acres on Highland.
Leave that, that's a cranberry bog.
Okay. Next one, Southworth Street, 32 acres.
I don't know that one.
Okay, so leave that on. You know, it's just a, I don't know if that's cut off, but I don't think it's a LLC. I think it's just a L initial.
Mm. I mean, Hazel Campbell's got a lot of pieces, so we'd just leave her
Yeah.
in because she's got a lot.
Okay, and she stays. And the next one.
Chuamala, we've looked at that property before.
Yeah. So, obviously, I think I remember that being discussed in the committee, but, and they were looking to do something, right?
Mm.
And we
They are.
didn't come to any
Right.
agreements to do anything. Leave them on the mailing list? No?
I'd leave them.
Okay. And the next one, chapter 61 APPA, Southward
I'd
Street.
leave that.
Okay. The next one is a chapter 61 expires 12/31/26.
Is that one of the ones that was on your list, Robbins?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I think so.
But I think that was on the list just because it was omitted.
The
in
question
error.
went right,
It was omitted
exactly.
in error because it does have an active
Mm.
chapter 61, 10-year agreement, which expires in 26. So they should get a mailing.
Mm.
Next one is 61B for 30 acres on Quail Run.
It's a beautiful piece of property, it's down on the lake. I'd leave
Okay,
that.
yeah. The next one, 61B also.
He has a lot of pieces of property, he's a builder. We left him on the front page.
Okay. Oh, the
Mm.
next one, okay. So, yeah, the duplicates will get
Yes.
dropped out after you give me that list to make it easy for me. And then,
I'd leave Staples, he has a lot of pieces of property all around County Road
okay.
and over there, I'd leave that.
And the next one, Ruta Carmela Drive, 29 acres. I don't have anything on that.
I don't know them.
No, I'll put a question mark to check,
Yeah.
but it probably stay out.
Mm. Paquins have a few pieces of property, so I'd leave that.
Okay,
Modular Space Corporation, I would take off.
okay, yeah, because they're in Pennsylvania, they get 29
Right.
acres, but, all right. You know, sometimes companies put part of it into
Mm.
conservation,
How'd you know 'em?
but no.
I mean, I don't know what kind of business, Modular Space.
Isn't that across from Muckies?
Space. See, it's 215 Millennium,
Oh.
oh, that may be over there.
I think it is.
So, you know, companies do,
I don't know.
61s and CRs on
Yeah.
portions of the right.
Right,
Should we leave them
leave, oh,
or take them out?
Where
I'll
we
leave
at?
them.
Where are we at?
We can readjust this again.
All right, I'll put a question mark on it just to
Okay.
investigate some more, but still possible. The next one is a 61A, South Pickens Street, 28 acres. Should stay. Yeah.
Leave it.
Yeah, next one is 48 Old Main Street, 28 acres. Should stay, she's a private owner. Well, the next one is, got an X on it, that's Staple Shores Association, chapter 48C. Now Lakeville Conservation, what does that mean?
That means they own the property. It says it's chapter 48C land,
So Lakeville, does that mean the town of Lakeville?
town of Lakeville.
Town of Lakeville, okay, so that
Is
is,
responsible for it, yeah.
okay. Because I saw Staple Shores Association, isn't that a
Yeah.
private association?
I don't think it is.
That's why I was confused, that's why I had it highlighted on one of those lists,
Yeah.
I didn't know, is it
Yeah.
in CR?
I'll look that up.
I couldn't tell if it was private or town. Yeah, sometimes they might have just
Right.
named a private thing Lakeville Conservation.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna take them off.
I would.
Okay, the next one, nothing on it, 27 acres, rear Howland. I guess I'd leave that. The next one, Bedford Street, 27 acres.
I'd take that off, that's Hallamore.
That's you're talking about the
Oh, it is?
Dennis
Where the
Perry.
Clydesdales are, yeah, Dennis, that's the Hallamore property.
And what is that?
They're riggers, they have the farm there, but they're from Holbrook, they have a lot of heavy machinery.
Oh, okay, so they're,
So I'd take them off.
okay. Okay, next one is, no information on it, Bedford Street, 26 acres.
I don't know
It's like
them.
privately owned, so we'll keep them on.
I would.
And then we have a chapter 61 PPA on Pierce Ave.
They have a lot of properties on Pierce Avenue. I'd leave them.
Okay, and then, next three are all PPAs.
Frank and Dorothy Schultz have both passed away. Their daughter is there and she's selling, I think she's gonna sell the property.
Well, and that's a PPA.
Yes. So we'll have to keep an eye on that,
Yeah,
and then find
let's-
out who buys it, because it's not for sale yet, but Frank and Dorothy are both gone and their daughter is there, and I know she's emptying the house out.
Yeah, and it wasn't in chapter 61, right? They didn't have any protection on it, but it is a priority protection area, so yeah, we definitely keep an eye on that. That, we may be able to get a conservation trust interested in buying that, you know, Lakeville doesn't have money to do it, but. The next one, now, Atani, that's the developer.
Yeah, it is.
And so
Can
this
go.
property on County Street, is that part of,
I think it is.
Rocky
What do you
Woods?
think?
I think it is.
So this is Atani. Okay, and the other one was Osram.
Oh,
There's two of them.
Yeah,
They're-
with some
they're-
Osram.
They're partners, yeah.
Yeah, they're partners.
Okay, so we kind of already have them, right? So should I cross them off here? Because, you know, might be, well, let's see. We kept them here, right? My areas. The address, oh, that was for the Howland Road property. Omran was, so that's different. So on 30 Howland, that was an LLC. And Tommy is the one with Rocky Woods, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So I guess we keep them on once and
Yeah,
some. Okay, and then there's a familiar name, Mark and Amy Knox, PPA on Pierce Ave, 20.
it's Mark and Amy.
Yeah, they don't have anything on the chapter 61?
Haven't heard anything from them since they left, but I'd leave them on.
Yeah,
I know they had talked about protecting their property.
yeah, I think they would. The next one, Lighthouse Point Industrial.
Yeah, Harding Street and Commercial Street, I think I'd take them off.
Okay. Yeah, one thing we didn't put on here, anything in a priority development area probably should come off, right? You make a note of that.
Yeah,
I know there's not a lot of priority development areas, but try and cross-reference that. The next one is the chapter 61B, privately owned, 24 acres. The owner is in East Freetown, but so it looks like it should stay. Next one, County Street, 24 acres,
I don't
should
know
stay.
that.
Next one, again, privately owned, 24 acres, stay. Next one, chapter 61A, PPA, that's a duplicate owner, that's, we've already
And the
got him, so
two
he's.
Maulers again.
Yeah, so it's a duplicate,
Yeah.
so covered. The next one, private owners, 23 acres, should keep.
I'd leave them.
Yep, and the next one is PPA, and that's, we already got him.
We already got
the
him.
Developer. And the next one.
This is solar farm, I'd get rid of them.
Okay. And then, the next one looks like privately owned, Unicorn Lane, 22 acres, keep,
I'd take them off.
take them off.
Mm.
And why is that?
Oh, because he's a builder and he bought a giant piece of property that you can't really do anything with. It butts up to Woodland Ridge, so.
Oh, so, all right. Gotta cut this list down. All right, so then, next one is 22 acres on Hill Street, privately owned.
Them.
Okay, and then the last one on this page, South Coast Redevelopment LLC, 22 acres on
You
Bedford
don't know
Street.
anything about them?
Yeah, I can put a question to see.
Put a question
That
mark.
might be development area. And I don't know how much, we can continue this at another meeting if you want to do another page, or you want to call it here.
We can look at it and run it and finish it next month.
Okay, yeah. If anyone wants to just take a look at it, and I'll mark
I'll look at
mark
it, if I
up.
see anything, I'll
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah, you
send them
can
to you.
email it
Yeah,
to me.
email them to you.
And I'll take all the inputs, and I'll maintain the master list, and the mailing list that I have in there. I'll delete, and I'll investigate ones we
Right,
talked about
I think
investigating.
I think that's a good idea.
And then the next meeting, June, we'll go over it and tighten it up a little more.
Tighten it up a little more.
Because we're not gonna be available to get funds till the fall anyway, so we've got a
Right.
couple of months to fine tune this list, but I think 2 more months, we should have a mailing list. And plus, we get all the cost, budget numbers down, so we say, yeah, let's limit it to 200
right.
because of the budget for mailing.
Right.
If we're gonna mail it this way, it's gonna cost that, so we'll have a lot more information for next meeting, but it was a
And we're
good.
still on the top end of the list with the people that have a lot of property too.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
still in, because we're still in the 20s.
Yeah, still for 22, so, all right. And then if we come up with a number that makes sense, once we get all the budget numbers, and we say, well, the cutoff is 200, or the cutoff is, I think 300, I don't think it's gonna make it to 300. But, so, another question, if we do this, now, when you got a mailing list together, and you say you got 200 envelopes, if we are going with a mailing, so is this something you contract to like a Staples, that they print out all these 200, you give them a mailing list, they print all that out, or is this?
That's a good
something we-
question.
Is this something we do ourselves? Because if we go to Staples, obviously there's a charge for the printing all the envelopes up with, say, our return address and 200 addresses, we get the list.
That's a
They
good
print them,
question.
and they charge you so much.
I mean, Liz had mentioned it before, I mean, we can purchase labels,
Yeah.
and then you have to stick them on the envelopes, you know?
Okay, so the labels you purchase, you feed into
You
a
print,
printer?
yeah,
You have to
you,
print them.
yeah, it's part of Excel or Word, and you just merge the Excel spreadsheet, you tell
So if
which
you were giving me a
line.
mailing list, you could do that? Is that what you're
Liz
saying?
volunteered, she's not here, so we'll volunteer her again.
That sounds like advanced stuff for me.
I mean, I could too, but she did say she does it all
It's
the time.
something for everybody to think
Right?
about, because that could be another budget expense item if we have to go to like Staples to have that done. If we can do it through volunteer work, but, pay for, obviously pay for labels and envelopes, the materials have to be purchased. And of course, ink. Ink will be donated ink if somebody does
I
that.
don't know.
All right,
I was asking if you do it at the town hall, but we don't know.
well, if they have, you can check, I know you're in the town hall, so.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, yes, we can all look at the options, we haven't done this before, so, we have to figure out what the most cost-effective way to do it is, and without, killing ourselves with too much work either. But, to do it effectively, target the right audience, get the right cover letter materials together, line up the event, there's a bit to organize. Pull more information for next month, and we'll take a little longer to get there. Because I don't know what the deadline is, I guess it's a fall town meeting is what we're targeting to go for, and it's like a month and a half before is the deadline for town warrants, so I don't think that meeting's been called yet, but, or but there is supposed to be one in the fall, I've been told. All right, I think that's enough for that. There's a couple of, that's it for the mailing lists and that. Agenda item 11, moving on, new business correspondence or announcements. Okay, so we did have the correspondence from the planning board about the quarterly interdepartmental meetings. There was some pushback from some of the other committees that there are too many meetings going on, they weren't consulted, and so they're rethinking the interdepartmental meetings. So for right now, they're not happening. We may hear something later, but just to update everybody, that's what happened with that. So, interdepartmental meetings. And I just learned that we do have an annual open space committee report to do.
Oh, for the
which I
town
guess-
report.
Which, I need to do, so. Tracy let me know about that, it's due the end of this month. And she gave me a copy of
What we had
last
before.
year's, or it doesn't say what year, but I asked the last one, which Amy was the chair,
That was a
so
long
probably
time
was.
ago, yeah.
So anyways, but anyways, I know what to do to put that together, and I'll,
Okay.
if I have to have it in by the end of the month, I can send it out to everybody for you to look at it and get your comments, and then I'll have to make changes and submit it to Tracy, because that'll be before our next meeting. So you can look forward to that email from me with a draft of this probably in the next couple of weeks.
Can't hardly wait.
I knew
Your
that.
favorite breath, right?
All right, it's correspondence, I think that was it. Any new agenda items for next month's meeting besides what we already have on the agenda? Okay, I think we got enough going on, especially with the outreach program, I think that's pretty
You
involved.
just move them down.
Yeah, I know, there's a couple of things I can take off. So,
They're on?
yeah, well, Montgomery Street's gonna come off, but a lot of them are quick items, but those are the big things. And actually, the property lists are in pretty good shape, just a little
Right.
follow-up on that, and then, but the outreach program is where most of the work is right now. So no new items, anything else we need to discuss before we look to adjourn? Other than that, then our next meeting is first Thursday in June, which would be June 5th, 6 PM here at the Lakeville Senior Center. But anything else?
You got it.
Coming up, or do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All right, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.